Hello. Today we're going to talk about the new Massachusetts minimum wages as well as the earned sick time law that went into effect on July 1st of 2015. As I stated yesterday, both of the minimum wages for regular employees as well as those that earn a cash wage has been increased. All employees now earn a minimum of $10 an hour, and anybody that works in a restaurant and earns tips earns a wage of $3.35 an hour. Today will be an overview of the Massachusetts Earned Sick Time Law. As I said, it went into effect July 1st, 2015. I want to talk about what is the Earned Sick Time Law, what can earned sick time be used for, who's eligible, how and when is it earned, how much earned sick time does an employee get, how is it paid, what are the employee's obligations, and what are your obligations as an employer? And hopefully I'll go through some Q&A at the end. Earned Sick Time Law went into effect on July 1st, 2015. At that point, all employees in Massachusetts began to accrue sick leave that may be used for authorized purposes. The law only sets minimum requirements for employers. Many employers choose to have more generous plans, and this is appropriate. The law entitles employees to earn and use up to 40 hours of sick time per calendar year. For employers with 11 or more employees, sick time must be paid. For employers with 1 to 10 employees, the sick time may be unpaid. But please note, this law affects all businesses. Just because you fall into the unpaid portion does not mean that you don't need to comply with the rules. One other thing to note is when it says 11 or more employees, it's purely talking about social security numbers. It does not say anything about FTE, meaning full-time equivalents. A few different tests that they have put in place to ensure compliance are, if you're seasonal, if you have 11 or more employees for 16 consecutive weeks, then you are paid sick time. Or if you have 11 or more employees for 20 weeks throughout the year, you are also considered paid. Employees must be able to use their earned sick time for care of their child, spouse, parent, or parent of spouse, care for themselves, attend a routine medical appointment for their child, spouse, parent of a spouse, or themselves, or address the effects of domestic violence, or to travel to and from the location related to the purpose for which the time was taken. All employees whose primary place of work in Massachusetts are eligible. This includes full-time employees, part-time employees, seasonal employees, and temporary employees. Everybody that goes on the payroll will earn sick time. Employees earn sick time at the rate of 1 hour for every 30 hours that they work, up to a total of 40 hours per year. An employee will begin to earn the sick time from the first date of hire. All hours worked, including hours worked outside of the state, will be accrued. Although the employees begin to earn the sick time from the beginning of their employment, you don't have to allow people to use it until they've been employed by you for at least 90 days. So they begin earning from day 1, and on day 90, they become eligible to use the time that they've earned. Employees may only use earned sick time up to 40 hours per year. And then the smallest increment that an employee can use is 1 hour, meaning they would have had to have earned at least 1 hour to use any. The accrual. They will accrue sick time at a rate no less than 1 hour for every 30 hours worked. The employer may also opt to provide lump sums of sick leave hours each month or each year, meaning you could front load this. What a lot of the employers that I work with have been doing is, if they're in the unpaid bucket and it's a very small group, many of them are offering 40 hours of unpaid sick leave on January 1st of each year, just to maintain compliance And all it's saying is that if people are calling in sick, they're not going to terminate them. Employees must be able to accrue 40 hours in a year if they work sufficient hours. Every employee must be able to use all 40 if they've accrued it. Employees who have unused time are able to roll it over into the next year. But keep in mind, the law previously states that in any given year, an employee may not use more than 40 hours. So this does not mean that they will have 80 hours the following year because they rolled over 40. It simply means that in January their hours don't reset, so they're able to still call in sick. Employers may delay further accrual while an employee has 40 hours in their bank. Paying earned sick time. Generally, employees are paid what they would have been paid if they had worked. Employees using sick time do not make overtime or premium pay, and employers must pay earned sick time on the same pay period as regular pay would have been issued. Employees' obligation of providing notice. Employees must provide advance notice of sick leave absence, except in an emergency. Employers may require employees to use reasonable notification systems to request leave. During multi-day absences, an employer may require notification on a daily basis from the employee or the employee's surrogate. The employer's obligations, documentation. Generally, an employer may only require written documentation from a healthcare provider in the case of an absence of more than 24 hours or 3 consecutive workdays. Employers may never require, as a condition of granting, using, verifying earned sick time, that an employee provide documentation to explain the nature of their illness or the details of domestic violence. Employers in certain industries with specific safety concerns may require a fitness for duty certification before an employee is cleared to return. The way I look at that is I work with a lot of restaurants, and if somebody is very sick and they're calling in, they say they can't make it because they don't feel well or they have some illness, you may get a doctor's note to clear them to be working around food, to return to work. If an employee fails to provide the required documentation without a reasonable justification, the employer may recoup the sick time pay as an overpayment. Employers have to maintain records of the earned sick time for 3 years. So if you haven't started doing it, we're already 6 months behind. Employers must give employees access to their own earned sick time and PTO records. So if an employee asks, how much sick time do I have? It's the employer's responsibility to get that information to them. Employers must post a notice of the EST law in each workplace and give a copy of the notice to each employee. I just put a copy of this notice on my Facebook this morning. So you can just use the link and you can print it out. You can hand that notice to your employees and you can print it out and post it in a break room. Retaliation. Employers cannot retaliate against employees for exercising their rights under the law, including requesting and using sick leave, filing a complaint for violations, or telling others about the law. Retaliation includes denying use or delaying payment of earned sick time, terminating an employee, taking away work hours, giving the employee undesirable assignments, etc. Attendance policies that provide bonuses for good attendance and holiday pay incentives that provide extra compensation for coming to work on days immediately before and after holidays are permissible, meaning that will not be considered retaliation. How employers may use their own paid leave policies as an alternative. Overview. Employers may have their own sick leave or paid time off policies in lieu of earned sick time, if all employees can use at least the same amount of time for the same purpose, under the same conditions, and with the same job protections as would be available under the earned sick time law. What many of my employers are doing is dual purposing their PTO, paid time off, to be used for the purpose of vacation or sick, as long as it follows the other regulations. How employers may use their own paid leave policy as an alternative. More information. Employers may have different paid leave policies for different groups of employees. Employers that provide 40 or more hours of PTO or vacation to employees that also may be used as earned sick time shall not be required to provide additional sick leave to employees who use all of their time for other purposes, provided that the employer's leave policies make clear that the additional time will not be provided. So this is a time to take a look at your PTO policy if you haven't yet. Employers that wish to maintain separate use policies for paid time off in excess of 40 hours may do so, provided that they allow employees to designate which time is taken as earned sick time. Please, if you have any questions, shoot me a message. I'd be happy to take a stab at it. I'm certainly not, I don't know everything, but I have been dealing with this law for 6 months, and I have a good baseline knowledge of it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.